Let's go ahead and get set up here. Bear with me, guys. Oh, there I am. Hey, Moonlight. Okay, we can remove this. And we can bring in a few things. Hello, Marianne from Las Vegas. Christopher from Disney there, huh? We got Chris from Greece. Moonlight there. Nice to see you there. One Way. Let's hear where you're from, guys. Darshan, Dr. Darshan. Hello, my friend. Nice to see you. Wow, we're going to have a fun time today. We're going to really fill the chat rooms up. I know we're going to really fill them up. Hey, Keegan. Nice to have you here. Okay, we're going to learn a lot of good stuff today. Even myself's going to learn a lot of good stuff. We're going to talk about sitting, about the old sitting things. Let's see who we got. We got Richard from UK. Hey, Rich. Moonlight. Got Mata there. Keegan, Richard, Costa. Hey, Costa. How you doing, my friend? Zaran from Pakistan. One Way to Paradise. Hazan from Pakistan. Well, that's beautiful. I think we're going to fill this chat room up today. Darshan from India. Well, it's a little bit late there, Darshan. I know you're quite a few hours ahead of us here. Well, anyways, let's go about. Let's see, we got here MTEP from Poland. Ice T, Oklahoma. Hi, Ice T. Nice to see you, sweetheart. Got Steve there. Let's learn. Barbara from Fort Lauderdale. You are my neighbor there, Barbara. Okay, and we'll get started. And last, we'll say Renee, hello there from La Selva Beach, California. Let's get going. A lot to share with you, some great information. Today is about ergonomics and good posture. Everyone spends so much time in a chair like I am right now, driving in their vehicle, sitting on a computer, in their bed, on their couch, in their sofa, wherever you're at, on the toilet, whatever you're doing, you're sitting, and we spend so much of our time sitting. So we're going to touch on the different ergonomics about posture and sitting. We have so many people. Hello, Leta from Georgia. Salman from Pakistan. Nice to have you here. Kathy from Germany. Beautiful. Wow, we got a whole group here today. We're going to fill up this chat room, but I know this is going to be an interesting topic, one of my favorite topics. I get so many emails talking about posture. What is the best posture? What is the best ergonomics? And this is the big thing. Now you look at this picture right here, you can see back in the old days, the ape, the caveman, how we evolved. And you look in the middle of the picture there, it's pretty much where we are, and look where we're going. This is the big problem. We are there. We're already going where the last picture is on the right. That's where we're going. Young kids today. Hey, Dan from Detroit, Michigan. Hungary, Mate from Hungary. How you doing, my friend? But this is where we are right now, and it's scary. You know, I look at my daughter, 18 years old, and she's got a hunching over there from all that texting that she's been doing on that iPhone. So this is a very, very serious problem. Hi, Sandy Linder from Florida. This is a big problem. So this is what we really need to focus on. This is what distorts the spine. This affects poor posture, affects the disc, causes herniations, bulging disc, spinal degeneration, disc degeneration, spinal stenosis, foraminal encroachment. All these things that cause degeneration comes from poor sitting, poor posture. So we're going to touch quite a bit, and we've talked about this many times here. This has been in a lot of my videos. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this. If you haven't seen it, Zara from Iran. Hello, Zara. This thing really shows us one thing. It shows us that our normal head is 12 pounds. And it shows us that for every inch we go forward, it's an additional 10 pounds of weight. So if we have 2 pounds going, we have 2 inches going forward like this, that's 32 pounds of weight. The back of the ligaments, muscles, tendons, discs have to hold up. And you go 3 inches, and we're looking at 42 pounds of stress. The back of these ligaments, muscles have to hold up. And what happens is this, over time, the body goes through deformation. Deformation means the body starts to change, the ligaments start to change, the muscles start to change, and we end up in a permanent type of posture that leads to quicker degeneration. Now, we look at something very important here. We look at this theory here. This is called the posture theory diagram. Excuse me if it's not real clear, because some of the pictures are not the clearest, but let me just explain a little bit about this thing. This shows the different angles of oscillation, the way the head is positioned. and how it distorts and how it affects different parts in our body. We know that by going in forward head posture, it brings the jaw backwards, the lower mandible. It changes the configuration of the muscles. It leads to TMJ. It affects our breathing when we go forward. It limits the amount of inspiration because of the first rib, how it pulls up on the muscles that pull the first rib up, that's actually being affected from poor posture. It has many different things that it does. It affects your throat, it affects your swallowing. It affects the chest cavity. It limits the amount of oxygen when we inspire. Just from leaning forward, it causes pressure in the sternum. It can lead to diaphragm problems with breathing. It puts pressure on different organs. It goes on to say that the lower back as well, which we'll talk about, is affected. And I'm going to show you about the different angles that we're talking about, so this will kind of all make sense to you. Now, these are some good ways of sitting. Now, what you're going to love about this presentation is that you're going to see everything. It's very visual. I'm a visual kind of person. I can talk up a storm. I've been doing talk radio for I can't tell you how many decades, but there's nothing like visual. When you see this, it's going to assimilate, it's going to digest, and you're going to understand things much better. Okay, so don't worry so much about the first picture. Second picture, I like the fitness balls. They're very good because we isolate core. The inverted, or you can say when the ramping of the chair going downwards is good for the lower back. Okay, because as you sit on a chair right now, and if you have a little wedge that goes downwards, it automatically brings the lower back. It brings a natural lordosis into the lower back. Okay, when we have that inverted type of wedge. So a wedge will actually help lower back and help neck problems. Now, the most important thing about sitting is just not the lower back. It's our neck, and we're going to talk about that right now. So we can see, again, you see the one on the right, the lady sitting there, and you can see how it comes on a decline. The decline brings that normal lumbar lordosis, see those five little red things in our lower back, this lower lumbar spine, it brings the curve back in the spine. The whole important thing about sitting is to maintain the proper curves in our spine. And if you are a new listener or a viewer, just to show you, we have three curves in the spine. We have a cervical curve called the cervical lordosis. Then we have the thoracic kyphosis comes out, and it goes back in again in the lower back. So it should look like an S shape from the side. But when you're sitting in bad posture, the person on the left on that computer is putting significant stress to the lower back, which is going to lead to disc degenerative problems and lots of problems that this person is going to have in the future. So we can see here the correct sitting postures. Now, I'm going to get to some clearer ones, but I thought this was so good. So even if you can't read it, just hear me out just for a few minutes, and then you'll understand a little bit more what we're saying. The first thing is, for the upper back, the most important thing is having a support in the lower back. You see that little pillow? Actually, it's not even a pillow. It's part of the chair, but it is like a pillow. So you need to have a little rolled up pillow, a rolled up towel, or a lumbar pillow to put it in that lower back area like I have right here. Okay? This pillow here, okay, it's kind of hard for you to see right now. Let me see if I can kind of make it a little higher, or let's bring this cam a little lower. Okay, this is a pillow, a lumbar pillow. Okay? It goes on the back of your chair. You can keep it in your car, keep it in your chair, keep it where you work. Very, very important because you're fulfilling the gap of that lumbar curve. Now, if you look at the hips, you want the hips as far back on the chair. A lot of people like to sit all the way up on the chair. Put your butt against the back of the chair. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to help you. You want to make sure that when you adjust the seat, your feet should be flat on the floor. Very important because some weight should be distributed among the feet as well. The lower leg should be at a 90, under 110 degree angle to the thighs, pretty much at a 90 degree angle, maybe a little bit more. If you look at her knees that are being bent, the arms should always be relaxed. This is a big problem. And I'm going to touch on some important things about using the mouse and about grabbing your computer and the keyboard, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. Now, your eyes generally should be at the top of the monitor, but anywhere in the top third of the monitor to the top of the monitor is actually very good. There's not a problem there. Okay? Now, we look at these three pictures sitting up, and what I wanted to bring out to you people is when you look at the picture on the left, this is good. We don't want to naturally accentuate the lower back because we start throwing off the balance of the spine. So don't try to sit up like you're sitting back like this, because now it's an artificial way. The muscles are not working congruently and they're not working synergistically with each other. Now, obviously, if you look at the third picture to the right, that is something what most of us do. And what happens is this. When you sit up and you're leaning forward on the computer, what happens is, number one, I'm going to put it like the lady's sitting right here. Let's look at her back. Here's the back of her right here. Okay. This is the way the curve should be. But what happens is, as you lean forward, the curve starts to become straightened out because of one reason. The pelvic tilts posterior. Okay? So when the pelvic tilts posterior, this will cause a straightening of the curve in the lower back. The disc spaces start to become compressed. All the load of the body of the weight is coming down the disc. The purpose of having a lordotic curve, if you look at the back of the facet joints, these little joints back in here, the weight of the body is being held up on these joints. You would rather put the weight on the joints of the strong bone than on the discs, because once the discs start to wear, that's it. You're kind of done. Then you're looking for potential problems. So let's see here. Going back to sitting, you can see that 63% of problems occur in the lower back. 38% of problems occur in the shoulder, 53% in the neck, and 33% in the wrist. Carpal tunnel syndrome, wrist cumulative trauma disorder. Okay, but you'll always notice if you don't have a good support behind your lower back, the shoulders round forward. So the trick here is to help neck pain is to make sure you got a good support in that lower back area, because once you round the shoulders, the head goes forward, and this is something you're doing for hours after hours after hours, and that's what's causing a lot of these conditions that you may have: disc degeneration, herniated disc, bulging disc, spinal stenosis, whatever degenerative problems going on, because of the accumulation. Now, I get hundreds and hundreds of emails, and I'll tell you this. I can give you lots of good information. I can teach you a lot of good education, but I cannot babysit you. I can't have a camera on you, and I can't look at you all day long and say, sit up. Because if you keep doing the wrong thing, you're going to keep getting the wrong results. So when you have these problems, you must start doing these things that we're discussing right here. I think it's very, very important. If you look here, okay, sitting at that terminal, let's talk about this. Head in a good position, straight position, shoulders relax, elbows about 90 degrees, a little bit more if you like, the hip about 90 degrees, a little bit more, knees about 90 degrees. If you notice, everything that we have in our body is 90 degrees. The elbows, the hips, the knees, it's very easy. Just remember 90 degrees. We talked about the top of the monitor, or the top 1/3 of that monitor where your eyes should be. Okay, and the monitor obviously is about an arm's length away, give or take. Okay, about an arm's length away. If I reach out like this, that's about an arm's length away. That's important because that's a lot to do with how you are looking at that monitor. Now, we don't want to look at things like this. We want to try to keep our head and our ears over our shoulders. That's all about proper ergonomics. Now, the wrists, very important. A lot of people out there have friends, maybe yourself, diagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome. Wrists must stay straight, people, please. If you're keeping them like this, you're eventually going to start causing cumulative trauma in those wrists, and it's going to lead to a lot of potential problems. Okay, here's another view here. Again, just showing about direct lighting. I think lighting is important. It's always good to have padding on your wrists. It's good, it makes it more supportive, a little bit easier to support the wrist. Obviously, the chair should be adjusted the right way, making sure you have that proper support in your lower back. Again, 90 degrees. We talked about one arm length away from the monitor. And very important, look at her eyes. We don't want her eyes to cause her head to shift forward. She's doing it right. She's using her eyes. She has her document there. She has a monitor in front. This is actually very, very good. A lot of times, if you're uncomfortable sitting down, get a little wedge, put your foot on it instead of just kind of leaving your feet straight out. I think that would be helpful for you. Now, does this, let's see right here. Here's another view just to give you, a little clearer for you, pretty much what we just said, because a lot of you may not have read the other picture. It might not have been as clear. This is just, you can just, and by the way, people, this is going to be up on my channel. YouTube's going to post this on my videos. You can always come back to this, so you'll have this. Okay, hey, Panata. Hey, George, dentist from Denmark. Beautiful. Well, those dentists, I'll tell you, you guys really need to be watching this. Lots of good dental buddies. You're doing a blessing for a lot of people, but I don't like to see you have problems for yourself. This is very, very important. Out of any profession, I would say out there, dentistry is number one when it comes down to poor, or let's say neck conditions. So let's go over to this picture here. This is something we all can relate to. Wow. This is like, wow, this is me. Well, I hope it's not you. This is so important right here. Laptops are just growing out of the boom. Everywhere we go, we got laptops. Not only laptops, we got iPads. We got our little things in front of us. We got our iPhones. We got our smartphones. We got our, it's just going on crazy. These PCs that I'm on right now are pretty much going obsolete. Everything is just kind of getting real narrowed in so we can travel with it. But very important, most important thing when you're looking down, and a lot of people do this regularly on the couch, in their bed, propped up, you must start jutting the chin down. Jut the chin in. Jut the chin down. Get rid of that forward head flexion. Okay, when your arms are elevated, a lot of people who complain of shoulder pain, shoulder problems, because they spend a lot of time with their arms out in front of them. When your arms are elevated, the trap muscles significantly contract. It affects the brachial plexus. People can experience TOS, thoracic outlet syndrome, affecting that plexus, that group of nerves that makes its way out of the scalenus muscles, goes between the first rib and the clavicle, and through the pec minor. Okay, thoracic outlet syndrome can be caused by just prolonged using your arms out in front of you like that. So be very, very aware. Now you see there, chin thrust forward, chin thrust, chin thrust. Good habit. All right, the head tilts beyond maximum neutral range. All right, you really want to, you don't want to keep that head out in front, because once that head goes forward, look at those shoulders start to hunch over. He has no support in his lower back. He has insufficient support between his legs, between the legs, obviously. He doesn't have his legs at a 90-degree angle. His feet are not flat on the floor. And his PC is not properly supported. In other words, the bottom line is you don't want to put your PC on your lap because it needs to breathe. But in the same token, you need to get it up higher. So you need to really arrange your ergonomics. Extremely important, because these people who spend, or people like you, my friends, my listeners, my chat people, you spend a lot of time on a computer, and I promise you, you're not in good posture most of the time. So this is something very, very, very important. If we look here, we're making our way. We're almost done here. This is a great picture. You should come back to this. Look at the right and wrong. Look at how the fingers and the wrist should be. Never extended back, always neutral. Okay? You can actually look at that for yourself. I don't really need to read it all for you, but that's a great picture, because you guys are always using a mouse, you're always using your hands, you always have to kind of click around. That is a great picture that you can come back to. Again, this will be posted on my channel about a half hour after this program, so you can always come back to this. This is a great picture here. So we talk about sitting at a computer. Let's see, 1 second here. Let's just put this right here. We talk about sitting at a computer, again, and the reason why I have so many different pictures, they kind of reinforce the same thing, but hopefully it will subliminally come into the mind and will really digest, because these are so, so important. You can see straightened arms, 90 degrees at the elbows, 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees, support in the lower back area. Very, very, very important. I cannot highly stress that. Extremely important here. This picture here again shows us the different postures. You can see those X's are no good. There's no support in that lower back. As a result of no support in the lower back, the shoulders go forward, the head goes forward. You can see that little wedge. Now you see that little wedge. This is something, take note, people. That little wedge in the lower right corner, I give hundreds of those out. Hundreds and hundreds of out to my patients over the years. They have these on Amazon. They have them on different things. They're about $8, $9. And they're little wedges. It's a foam little wedge. Not only does it support the buttocks a little bit, feels more comfortable, it's a little foam, but that angle, if you just tuned in with me, by sitting on that angle, what happens is the pelvic gets its normal configuration, but sitting on that angle, as the pelvic goes anterior, that normal curve comes back in all by itself. So a person with low back pain, even if you don't put support behind the lower back, and just have that wedge, you're going to say, wow, if there's anything that you learned today, that little wedge can make a huge difference for lower back problems. Huge, huge, huge difference, and I cannot highly stress that. You see the one above that, she has a support or a little rolled up towel or something behind her lower back. That is a good thing as well. We're just about finishing up now. This just shows us a little more intricate for those people that like to really use their brain a little harder. This is a good thing to look back at. It shows us that when we lean forward, the pelvic, how it changes, how it tilts. Generally, when we just sit up straight, the pelvic rocks backwards. And obviously, the most important thing to limit the amount of discompression on that lower back area, the most important thing is that we maintain proper lordosis in that lower spine. Okay? Generally, when we come back, about 135 degrees with our feet flat on the floor, there's really less stress on that lower disc than there is sitting up 90 degrees. I know it's harder to sit back that way, but that's just the way the anatomy and the biomechanics actually work. Very important. So I will go ahead and go over a few quick questions with you guys. I really hope that you learn this thing. I ask you to share these videos. That's the least I ask you to do is to please share these videos. And I ask you to subscribe if you have not at this time. This is really great information here. And this is something that, we really need to spread the word out. We really need to start teaching these people about biomechanics. There are millions of people out there that have bad necks and bad backs, and it's our job to really get out there and teach. I come out here because I enjoy it. Listen, I'm in my room. It's not a professional studio, but you're getting the message. And I'm sure that, hey, Fernando from Spain, I'm sure you're getting the message. So I really ask you to share these videos and really get them out. Put them on your social media. It's okay. Put them wherever you want. You don't have to ask me. This is about education, and that's our mission right now. Okay, let's just take a couple questions just for a few minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and make way here. Extra precaution, G, if you have a ponticulus posticus, that's a condition in the upper cervical area. Nothing to worry about, Steve. Just an anomaly, something you were born with. I won't even go into it. Panata, thank you for being with us. Kathy, do you know about the foundation training, Dr. Eric Goodman? No, I do not. You can get back with me, by the way. I'm going to type something here for you, just for you. You guys, this is the best way to get a hold of me because I get lots of emails. Hold on 1 second if I can figure out why it's not even working here. 1 second here. Well, it's not even letting me type here, huh? Hold on 1 second. Not even letting me type here. You got me, guys. Hold on 1 second. Kimo from Israel, huh? Doctor from Israel. Thanks for being here with us. Anyways, everyone asked me how to get a hold of me. Instead of me, I can give my email. It's hard on my email. Generally, my Facebook, Motivational Doc, it's easier for me to return messages there. I just get everything right away, and a lot of times we can chat right through there if we had to. My Facebook, Motivational Doc, check it out. Go ahead and like it, and that's the best way I can actually help people out there. Last couple things. What about sitting with anterior pelvic tilt? Anything different there? No, you don't have to worry about what you have and how you have to sit. Although I will stress to you guys, check out my video on anterior pelvic tilt. It's about 21 minutes, probably the most thorough video you'll ever see. I explained it very thoroughly, the mechanics, different exercises, a great it's one of the best. As far as I'm concerned, I've seen many of them on here. Hey, Ramon from Phoenix. Neck stiffness due to lower back strain during extended sitting in front of a computer. Well, this is what you got to start doing, Ramon, what we talked about here. I promise you it will help you. Mate, switching gym ball, kneeling chair, great, excellent. I think they're great. And one very important thing about sitting, guys, get up more often. You know, get up, man. Shake it around. You know, bend around. Stop staying in that same position prolonged periods of time. Very important. Mate, you're a good man. You've been following me, and I can see you're a real educated guy. You're all doing the right thing there. Well, anyways, guys, best place, as I said, how to get a hold of me. But most important for right now, subscribe, share these videos. I appreciate you being here with me. And we'll continue to put a lot of these live streams out. I enjoy it. It's fun. It puts another video on my channel, and I don't have to get in front of a camera and edit, because guess what? They do most of the stuff right here for me. So God bless you guys. Have a great day, and God bless you, your family, your loved ones. Ciao.